If you're flying more than one avionics platform, you know it can be really challenging, and sometimes that extra button push can be critically important. Let's take a look.
November 396 Delta Mike, maintain flight level 280. You have traffic crossing at 290.
6 Delta Mike, we're looking for the traffic in 280 on the altitude. Oh, great. All right, lost the screen. Well, okay, we're climbing to 28. Here we go, and go back here, look at the standby. We need to get that back. Autopilot. We've got the autopilot on, right?
396 Delta Mike, that traffic is now closing. Main level at flight level 280.
6 Delta Mike. Okay, we've gone through the
autopilot.
Gone through the altitude. Say again the altitude for 6 Delta Mike.
69 Delta Mike, begin immediate descent to flight level 280.
2806 Delta Mike, and we're looking for the traffic. Okay, all right. I'll handle the airplane. 28.
That was uncomfortable to watch and clearly dangerous had traffic really been 1,000 feet above David's assigned altitude. Let's look at some steps we can take to identify and fix potential avionics malfunctions in our different avionics platforms our members fly. Let's look at that same situation David experienced. With the PFD failure, we don't have any memory items, but it would serve us well to be conversant in the procedure. The QRH directs us to select the display reversion, select revert to MFD. The sooner we do that, we can get our primary flight instruments back, we can confirm our autopilot is engaged, and if necessary, re-engage it and reselect modes. Let's look at another potential avionics malfunction. During the climb out, if we're presented on our PFD with a loss of attitude
autopilot
and heading information accompanied by attitude heading in a red box, we know we've lost our AHARS, our attitude heading reference system. The checklist is going to direct us first to select our AHARS reversionary position of our switch. This is now taking information from AHARS 2 and presenting it on PFD 1. Our next problem is to regain use of the flight director. With the flight director coupled to the left side, the system is not able to give us guidance. So the next step in the checklist is using the autopilot transfer button to tell the flight director that we want to couple to the right display and right set of AHARS and attitude and air data information. Now, unfortunately, our autopilot is still not available to us with an AHARS failed, but now we do have use of our flight director again. We can reselect any desired lateral and vertical modes, and we will not have use of the autopilot, but we will at least have use of the flight director. Let's look at how a failure of the air data computer would present. We see on our PFD a loss of our airspeed, altitude, and vertical speed information and associated red boxes. We know we have an ADC failure. The checklist directs us first to select the reversionary position with the DADC switch. This is going to drive the PFD from ADC number 2. Next, similar to an AHARS failure, the checklist tells us to select the autopilot transfer button so that our flight director and autopilot are now getting information from the operational ADC number 2. Unlike an AHARS failure, the autopilot is still usable with a single ADC failure. Again though, we do need to reselect our lateral and vertical modes following the autopilot transfer. But from here on out, our operation in terms of the avionics will be normal. Of special note is in this particular airplane, the CJP, a loss of ADC 1 is going to have associated other system failures, namely with the pressurization system. We would also need to ensure that the transponder is selected to the side with the operational air data computer.